I give Danton an album that he hasn't heard, and every week he gives me an album that I haven't heard. So, Danton, this week, what was your homework assignment?
So I had another power metal assignment. I got the band Gamma Ray, the album Land of the Free.
And I got Steve Vai, Modern Primitive.
Oh boy, that's right. I was honestly sitting here thinking, shoot, I forget what I gave him. What did I get him to listen to?
Yes.
Cool.
Oh,
So yeah, how do we want to start this?
you could go ahead. Go first. I like when you
Okay,
go first.
well, especially like last week, the week before last, we did our power metal episode, and that got me going down that whole rabbit hole of like, here's this awesome genre that I know a little bit about, but let me go like really explore that, So I checked out some more stuff by my favorite band of the genre, Rhapsody of Fire, and then I got Karma by Camelot as my assignment last week, and I absolutely loved it. And so I've been like, oh yeah, this power metal stuff is awesome. Keep it coming, keep it coming. And I will say the same thing this week too. If you have another power metal assignment in mind, Jeff, I'll take it. But truth be told, for Land of the Free, I wasn't terribly impressed. I was kind of going in expecting more of like the real, like super fantastic Camelot kind of stuff, Rhapsody kind of stuff, especially with some of these titles. Looking at the list, things like The Savior and Fairy Tale, the opening track, Rebellion in Dreamland. But stylistically, it didn't deliver quite what I was expecting, which I think is a big part of why I was disappointed by it, because I was kind of expecting more of the whole like kind of super speedy Knights and Dragons kind of stuff. But it had a lot more thrashy vibes, which I could see why Gamma Ray is probably as popular as they are. I'm sure like a lot of your like Metallica heads, they gave me a lot of Metallica vibes. A lot of times, like I'm listening to some of the songs on this album thinking, yeah, these guys kind of sound like Metallica. I mean, I'm not going to say the singer was bad, but I wasn't crazy for his voice compared to like a lot more of the more operatic stuff I heard and the other artists I've been checking out. This guy didn't quite deliver on that front. I mean, like I said, good singer, really fits the sound that they're going for, but it's just not my thing. I'm not really much of a thrash guy, Those of you that have been following the show, you might have noticed on the thrash episode we did, a big reason we brought a guest on for that is because, like, I really don't have much to say about thrash. It's not like I don't really know much about the genre, I'm not really big on it musically. It doesn't really resonate with me in a lot of ways. So for me, it's a little dry, a little boring. I like the goofier, crazier stuff. Like if it's not super colorful and cartoony and just like ADD out the wazoo, that's why I like prog so much, because it's just. And there were a lot of moments in this where like you have a lot of those moments, like for like the moment to moment listening experience on some of these songs does change a lot, but I feel like the grand whole of all of it was not greater than the sum of its parts. So I probably won't revisit it. I'm definitely open to checking out more of these guys' stuff to see maybe, Jeff, you could maybe tell me like if they kind of vary a little bit, or if all their stuff is kind of thrashy like this, maybe it's just a band that's not for me. But I'm glad I listened to it. I probably won't revisit it anytime soon.
So what do you rank it out of like 10?
Oh, out of 10, well, that's the problem. Personally, I'd say like a 6 out of 10. Like it's good, but it's just not for me. Now, objectively speaking, musically speaking, I'd probably lean more to like 7.5 or 8 because it's solid. It's a solid album. It's really good. It has a lot of variety, a lot of great content, really cool, catchy titles, and great lyrics, and it's great in a lot of ways. So it's better than I'm giving it credit. So don't take my personal review as like, Danton said he didn't like it. It probably sucks. It's not true at all. Don't take my personal opinion for anything really, other than my personal opinion. So
I gave that to you because it's an album that is varied. The songs vary in sound and structure and tempo, and that's to me that is their best album because of that. And they're a lot thrashier than Camelot and Rhapsody. That is the singer / guitar player. That's Kai Hansen. That's the guy who did Keeper of the Seven Keys, Helloween. He was one of the songwriters. Left Helloween after the Keepers albums, and he started Gamma Ray. That's why you probably hear a little bit of Helloween in that too. And of course, Michael Kiske from Helloween sings on one of the songs. Probably the weakest song on the album, but he sings on it. It's Time to Break Free, it's called. It's kind of like a sore thumb on that album. fit with the rest of it.
Yeah, I kind of liked the chorus of that one. It was catchy, but yeah,
I think it's a great song. It just doesn't fit with the rest of the album. But you're right. They're more of a thrashy power metal band than like a symphonic power metal band.
yeah. So
And
if you're into thrash,
what
highly recommend
going
it. Go
for.
check them out. If
Yeah.
you like Metallica, if you like Slayer, if you like Anthrax, go check these guys out. If you're into the more symphonic stuff, I would stay clear. Stick with
Yeah. So I think anymore, if I need to suggest an album for you, I got to make sure it checks that symphonic box off.
Yeah, I love the symphonic stuff. Give me that.
Right.
You know,
Right, because that's what
Give me
Camelot
Nightwish
is.
or something.
That's what Rhapsody is, you know.
Yeah.
Now, Blind Guardian kind of does a little bit of both. They do a lot of symphonic stuff and a lot of thrash stuff. They may be best of both worlds for you. So, but who knows? Maybe that'll be next. I have to decide on that
Yeah,
one.
take your time.
I like that Gamma Ray album. That came out a while ago. That's a pretty old album. And I loved it.
I listened to was a 2017, but it was like a remaster. It was like an anniversary.
You know what? I should have told you because I wanted to tell you this. The album proper ends with Afterlife. The song Afterlife is the end of the album. The rest of that stuff is all remastered stuff, old B-sides, and because there's like 22 tracks on one of the versions, we'll say. I hope you didn't listen to all 22.
No, I didn't. I actually stopped at Afterlife. I didn't because I saw the rest of them like, oh, here's like a pre-production version of this, and here's like a live thing, here's the instrumental. So I skipped all that stuff. I got Afterlife and then I stopped. So I didn't listen to the whole thing. But one thing I will say, I really, really like the remaster from a sound designer perspective. It was really, really well mixed. The remastered is, I mean, aside from all the BS tracks, it's definitely the definitive way to listen to it, if you ask me.
I agree.
Quality. Awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
And I just and because of our power metal talk that we had a couple weeks ago, I've been revisiting all these ones, and that's why I haven't listened to that album in years. I dug it up. I'm like, maybe Dan would like this because it's so varied, kind of like Karma was. Like with Camelot Karma, every song is different on that. You don't get that
Karma
power
really
metal burnout. Yeah, it's not generic at all. So we will steer away from the thrash, unless of course it's Rust in Peace by Megadeth, because I know you like that.
Yeah, I definitely want to get more into Megadeth. Not even just
that's just on a level all its own though. Like Rust in Peace is like that's the cream of the crop as far as like thrash albums go. Okay, well let's move on to my homework. Steve Vai, Modern Primitive. What I found out about this album is it's based on song sketches and works in progress that Steve Vai had. Who, if you're listening to this podcast, you must know who Steve Vai is. He is probably one of the best guitar players alive today. He's fantastic. He's a all-around great musician. So this album is stuff that like he wrote back when he was starting his solo career back in like 84, I think, but he didn't like kind of finish these songs until 2016, we'll say, when the album came out. That's the history behind this. I like to read about what I'm getting into before I actually listen to the album. So I wanted to make sure, I get why the album is like it is. Well, it's Steve Vai, so there's going to be shredding. There's non-traditional song structures all over the place, and it's effing awesome. It's Steve Vai. How can it not be awesome? I mean, I love everything I heard from him ever. There's never been a even the stuff he did with Whitesnake I like because it's Steve Vai.
Great player.
Now the opener, Bop, is. I love how Frank Zappa it is. It's very Frank, but then again, Steve Vai played with Frank Zappa. So, and you can hear that Zappa-esque stuff throughout this whole album. And everything I've listened to, I get that feeling sometimes, but not all the time. But with this album, I get it a lot. It's a lot of weirdness. Good weirdness, The Lost Chord. That song features Devin Townsend on lead vocals, and I love some heavy Devi, but he's not heavy on this one, man. He sings, man, and it's really lyrical, super cool, slow, groovy song, man. It's such a great song. Dark Matter and Lights Are On are great tracks. The Mighty Message. See, okay, I have to mention this. This album is kind of like two different things at once. Sometimes there's awesome instrumentals, and sometimes they're just like regular prog rock songs with vocals, and there's some guest lead vocalists throughout this album. Mighty Messengers, which is like a very straightforward, awesome, fast, a little thrashy almost, like rock song. That's a great song, man. That was probably my favorite track. Is that one? I liked, like I said, I liked the one with Devin on it, but that was kind of slow. You got to probably be in the mood for that, man. Just kind of, it's a cool, slow, groovy song. But Mighty Messengers, I mean, that's a great song, man. I listened to that over and over again, and that was really cool. Pink and Blows Over, 3-part song to end the album, is weird, man. It's like someone reminded me of like Christmas music. Like I don't know, just because they're so outside.
Oh yeah, because of like the little glockenspiel.
Yeah. And then
tiny thing.
I think the second part, I think it's the second part that starts off like
the second part where it really goes off the rails.
I think it starts off with like the Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairies or something, or some kind of
a little bit
some kind of classic piece there. Overall, I mean, it's cool. It ranges from jazz to rock music, and it totally very Zappa-esque. So if you like Frank, you're gonna like this. I can't see anyone not liking this, that likes any kind of like even mildly progressive music. If you like guitars and you like prog rock, it's Steve Vai, man. It's great. It's great. I would give it.
I'm glad you liked it. I really didn't. I didn't know what to expect as far as how you'd take it, because it's really weird. I wasn't sure how into that kind of stuff you were, so I figured let's just give something really kooky.
The song about the pockets, about having no pockets or something. Oh my God, that's so weird. The groove to it is so interesting. Yeah, it was really cool. It was really cool. I will definitely.
I'm glad you liked it.
It's on the list. That's another one, like last week's. The Soften the Glare. It's another one you can put on while you're doing other things, just to kind of. But it's also, this one is also the one you throw the headphones on, do a deep listen, because there's a lot of cool stuff going on with this. So, again, it's Steve Vai. I mean,
yeah, you can't really go wrong.
My review could have just been, it's Steve Vai. That's it.
Yeah, that's all you need to say about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's essentially the bridge between Flexible, which was like his first debut album as a solo artist, which I want to say was as early as like 83, 84.
84 was released. Yeah. Flexible.
And then the next thing he did was Passion and Warfare in 91. So basically Modern Primitive is like the bridge over like that 6-7 year period. So like there's a little bit of elements of Flexible in it, which is a lot of like the real Frank Zappa-ish stuff.
Yeah, I'm hearing more of that.
Yeah, it leans more in that direction, but so some of the more straightforward stuff kind of makes me, it's a little reminiscent of Passion of Warfare. And the cool thing about it is he actually released it as like a dual thing with the 25th anniversary of Passion and Warfare. That was like what Modern Primitive was. It was like, oh, to celebrate the anniversary, let's revisit and do this other album, which kind of, here's all the stuff that led up to Passion and Warfare, and we'll do the anniversary release of Passion and Warfare. And I got to see him perform that live when he toured in like 2016, 2017, whatever year it was. And he actually played all of Passion and Warfare cover to cover and opened up with a bunch of other, I think he did 1 or 2 tunes off of Modern Primitive, and then he played some stuff off of he's got this Real Illusions thing going on over the last several years he's been working on. So he played a bunch of stuff from the newest bit of that, which was really cool. Anyway.
Is this the latest one he has out? This is the latest album?
Modern Primitive, I'm pretty sure is the latest thing he's got out. Yeah. I'd have to check that. I could be wrong, but yeah, it came out in 2016, and it's his most recent thing that he released.
It's really good.
I'm glad you like
it. I'm gonna say 8.5. I'll give it an 8.5 out of 10. As far as that type of like guitar virtuoso prog rock stuff, it's one of the best I've heard. But again, that's how I rank most of his stuff, because he's one of the best.
He's really the best. He's my favorite musician of all time, and that's no secret to anybody. He's my hero. I love that man. I want to be Steve Vai when I grow up.
It's fantastic, and he's one of the only guys, because there's a lot of guitar shredders. He's one of the only ones that I could really sit down and listen to and not really get bored from, because he doesn't just shred. He's melodic with his playing. He's the pinnacle. He really is. I mean, there's only a few I can name, because I do like guitar players. I do like listening, but sometimes if it's instrumental, sometimes it just I get bored. This stuff didn't bore me. It was really good. Really good.
Cool. I'm glad you liked it. That's really great.